right, we're here on this September 17th, 2021, on another beautiful Friday here as we get ready for another busy weekend. As always, guys, we want to thank our sponsors, Eastern Offset Printing, for all they do for us. They do all of our posters and flyers and things like that. And always grateful to the IKF East Coast Classic, the Georgia Classics, Fall and Spring Classic, I should also say, all of those tournaments, and a lot more coming down the road, guys. It's always, a busy time and all the different things that we are trying to do to make our sport better for everyone. So we hope you guys will join us today, and as we chat to none other than the one and the only Mr. Michael Storm. He's out of Omaha, Nebraska. He's a longtime representative, lifetime martial artist. And you know what? Just one of the nicest people that I know. Really wise. He's calm. He's cool. He's collected. Seems to think about things before he actually says. And we'll see today, though, won't we? But really cool guy. And he's been working with us for our tournaments for many years. In fact, he's been also a member of the IKF for many years. He's probably been in martial arts around 40 years. So a lot of wisdom there that we have. So you know me, Johnny Davis Live, real talk, real solutions. We're going to get into quite a few different pieces of conversations, if you will, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the chat. Also, guys, as you know, we're getting ready for the 9th annual IKF East Coast Classic. It's going to be a fun and exciting time in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, October 8th through the 10th. Let me tell you something. If you are a fight fan, there's absolutely no way in the world you should miss that event. Over 100 full contact fights that weekend. Plus, we have the IKF PKB that's going to be going on in an entirely different ballroom. It is a weekend for stand-up fighting. I don't know where else you could be that weekend, but you got to be in Myrtle Beach at the Crown Reef, at the Landmark Resort. Right there on the beachfront in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It's going to be a lot of fun. We hope you guys will come out and support that event. Discount tickets are on sale right now at akpromotions.org. Just want to remind you that is also the weekend that we'll have a great fight on Friday night, as I just posted, with Mr. Jaden Reeves and Mr. Ronan Swenson. We had some underlying issues, so it's going to be a 3-round ball of a fight. It's going to be a crazy bang out fight. And then on that Saturday night, we have the United States title fight between the women, as well as our 9-round professional Muay Thai and kickboxing fight. It's going to be phenomenal. With all of that, we have another 100 and some fights, right, in the ring, in a Las Vegas-like setting, lights, camera, food. You got to be there. There's no other place to be. Get your tickets now. akpromotions.org. All right, guys, without any further ado, I want to bring up a man who I've been knowing for several years. He is one who loves the martial arts. He's a life devoted to martial arts, as I always say as well. Someone who I think that you will enjoy, speaking to here today. He and his wife, actually, Terry, who might be on a little bit later, have been in martial arts for many years. And I just got to find him here again. He kind of disappeared, but I'm sure he's somewhere, there in my lobby. Is not. He might have to come back on again. Yep, he's probably going to have to sign back on again because of current. Oh, there he is right there. What am I doing? I can't see. I need to put my glasses on, Mike. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Mr. Michael Storm. How you doing there, sir?
Good afternoon, Jack. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Good to have you on today. I know you have a lot of things going on and stuff like that. But sometimes it's just good to to have a chat. You and I, we chat sometimes. You've been coming out, working our East Coast Classic for many years. Do you kind of remember how long have you been working with us with the East Coast Classic?
I think I was the very first one, John. So, what, 5-6 years now, probably?
Yeah, at least. I mean, there was a little break in there, but there was.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but there was a little break, but I think that, at least if you were at the first one, we've been going now about 7 or 8 years.
Dillon, South Carolina. That's where the first one was. I think I was down there for that one.
Right.
Yeah, and then we've been doing the Columbus, Georgia shows too, most recently.
Right. Been really busy. I mean, stuff. So I really appreciate your support. And the reason why I like you coming because really, you're just a straightforward guy. You work really hard, you're nice, and you're fair, right? And you treat people with respect, right? And those are the kind of things that I like about Mike Storm. Again, he doesn't get excited or anything about, too much of anything. I'm sure there's some things he gets excited about, but not so much with the event. He just handles it. Whatever we need to handle, he just dives in and he just kind of handles the business. And so that's a very good thing and a very good attribute and something that I really appreciate you for sure, for coming and helping us out. You've been a lifelong martial artist over 40 years. Kind of give me a quick synopsis of what that's been like to be in the martial arts for that long.
Oh, it's something that I wanted to do as a kid. When I was growing up, I was the oldest of 7 kids, and Dad wasn't about to put 7 kids in the martial arts, so I had to wait till I was an adult. One day I woke up and I thought, I want to try this. So I went down to the neighborhood Taekwondo school and watched a class and signed up, and I've been doing it ever since. Like I said, I've been doing it for nearly 40 years. I've been teaching martial arts for over 35 years.
Well, what's so interesting about that is that it's so much time, right? And I've been in martial arts over 40 some years as well, right? At 50 years in a long time. You don't think about, because I've never seen you like really do much, right? Because, the time that I've known you, it's kind of like past your prime, if you will, right? And I think Taekwondo. So, Mike, you had to be a pretty good kicker.
Well, in 1993, my wife and I traveled the country. We fought from Virginia to California, North Dakota to Louisiana and Texas, and I was actually the men's national Taekwondo champion in 1993.
Wow.
And she wasn't my wife at the time, but she was women's national champion that year too. So.
Oh my goodness. So I mean, but I've always respected Taekwondo for its kicks, right? You got to be able to kick. So you guys are pretty good kickers, then, right?
Terry's a better kicker than I
am. Yeah. And your wife Terry, and I've been knowing her for a while as well. You guys kind of like a tag team. I met you at I think the ICAP World Classic some years ago. And met her as well, and she's also a representative, or at least a judge or official, and things like that. Now, maybe we'll chat with her in just a little bit as well. You're also a second-degree black belt in Hapkido, right? So how did that transition happen from Taekwondo to Hapkido?
They kind of go hand in hand, actually. We kind of, one came from the other. Hapkido, we kind of took what I knew in Taekwondo and built upon that and got more into takedowns and throws while sparring, things like that. So it was just something to break the mood, break the moment for the Taekwondo. But Taekwondo is still my first love.
Right. A general idea. I'm just trying to have you give people a general idea, Mike, of what was it about martial arts that captivated you for a lifetime?
I think the physical aspects, I centered on myself, my self-respect. That's one thing that martial arts does for a person. It makes them feel better about themselves, especially if you're one that grew up as a kid, that had issues with bullying and things like that. It helps build your confidence, your discipline, your respect. It just kind of gets you focused on yourself, so you're able to focus on other things and focus on other people.
Did you have any issues with bullying coming up?
I was the smallest kid in school till third grade.
What?
Till third grade, I was the smallest kid in school. Yeah, now there were issues there, and then but it's things that you deal with. I actually didn't start martial arts until I was already an adult. My father had died of lung cancer, and I was
of lung cancer.
Yes, sir. Well, And I was
Was
sitting around,
I need to ask? I'm sorry to hear that, but was he like a smoker?
heavy smoke.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons why I think I had never smoked a cigarette in my life.
Right. That's what I was going to ask. Right.
But I was sitting around feeling all the psychosomatic things about, my dad dying. I says, I think I'm dying. I'm not feeling well. And I just decided to get off my backside one day. I went down and like I said, watched the class and joined it. And I became addicted to it. And I think there are worse things to be addicted to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And when I first started, I had no intentions, no idea of where I would go with it. But here I am, 40 years later, and it's become a major part of my life. I met my wife through the martial arts, and all of my children are black belts now.
All of them.
I have 4 children.
Wow.
They've all received their black belts, and their instructors are working to be instructors.
Wow.
I have 4 grandchildren. 3 of them are currently involved in the martial arts. The youngest one isn't yet, but so it's a family thing, and it's something that families can do, and families can bond over it. They can grow over it. They're all, like I say, they're all in the point where they're helping to teach, because teaching is a very rewarding thing. Kind of gives you an opportunity to give back to the sport what you got out of the sport.
Right, right. I'm curious about while we're talking about family, about how has martial arts maybe helped you guys as a family come through a very difficult time? Is anything that comes to your mind?
Yeah, anything, stress, any hardships that you're having in life. If you got money issues, you got deaths in the family. That was something that, like I say, my father, my brother-in-law recently passed from leukemia.
Mm,
And we get together, and we all have a common bond that we wrap our arms around and be together with, as far as stuff like that is concerned.
right.
So yeah, I mean, it just gives us all something that when we fight about other things, we still have something in common that we can be.
Ah, right. Yeah, the thing in common, I think that is, and I think in our society today, I think we kind of lose that, even with our family members. We kind of lose the commonality, the things that we have in common, even as our neighbors and things like that. And we get so caught up in whether it's politics or religion or whatever, but we forget about the day-to-day things that we all have in common. With basically, most of us want a nice, clean neighborhood. We want to go to nice schools. We want a nice job. We want to be able to pay our bills. All of us pretty much want those very things. Well, you have been, like I said, very, very helpful to me with the IKF East Coast Classic. Let's go back a little bit before I talk a little bit about that event, about the martial arts scene back then, because you've been working with the IKF World Classic. You worked with the TBA, I think the TBA tournament as well. Back then, how was it, and how much has it changed today? And is it for the better or the worse?
Oh, I think it's definitely grown. It's become a much better organized, much better run. The talent I've seen, the talent both in the ring and in the officiating on the outside of the ring, has gotten better, because people tend to take it more serious. 20 plus years ago, when it was still in its infancy, people were just kind of learning, and they were trying to get an idea. As a fan, what am I looking at here?
Right.
But in the last years, we've been able to educate the public, and a lot of people are becoming enthusiasts, if you will.
Right.
We bring people to these events, and some people. I had a guy at an event here a little while back, and first time he had ever been there, and he goes, "My goodness, I've never been to anything like this. I didn't know there were things like this.
Right.
How could I not know this?" I says, "Well, you do now." And he says, "I'm here from now on."
Wow. Right. Right.
Well, that's the important thing. I think, Johnny, what you're doing is you're introducing it to people. And I think once people see it, they're never going to want to leave it.
Right. Right. Well, that's the idea. That's the idea. We need to build up that fan base. I'm kind of curious, though, Mike, about the tournament fight scene right now, so many people are winning belts. I mean, they go to a tournament one weekend and they come out a champion. Do you think that somehow diluted also the value of the name champion?
That's a possibility. That is a possibility.
Yeah.
There's so many different organizations that want to be the best, that want to be top, and there's so many people that say that they are the best. But I guess the bottom line is if you're going to be the best, you gotta prove it. You got to step up and show it. You know,
Is it? Do you think? I'm sorry. Do you think the tournament scene is the place to prove that you are absolutely the best, though?
it's a good place to start.
Yeah.
It's to start. I mean, you can get in there and you can see other people. Other people can see you. You can see what competition is, and you can see, am I really good enough? Can I test myself to be that person that they're saying I am?
Right.
And if you're just doing the fight in the neighborhood bully all the time, I mean, there's nothing. If you go to
Right.
a competition like the East Coast Classic, you get people from all over the country coming to these, and you are actually the best of the best.
Right.
In many cases, and then after that, then well, am I worthy to take it up to the next level?
But I think it's important. Now, this is just me. That the reason why I have these United States titles and then I now have the pros is to indeed help take the sport to the next level. I'm not sure if other organizations are doing that just yet, though. This is my point I'm trying to make here is that they're having tournaments, but are we really proving who's the best? And is it important that we know who's the best in our sport? Does it matter?
Well, I think everybody wants to know who is the best. I mean, you want to know, am I really that good? I guess, is it incumbent on somebody like you and other promoters, though, to get together and say, "Let my champ fight your."
Right.
But see, the problem is that some people are afraid to do that. Some people are afraid. Oh, hey, Johnny Davis wants you to fight his guy. Well, I don't know if I'm going to fight his guy. What if he wins? Well, then he wins. But
Well, it shouldn't be so much a matter that they're my guy, right? They should be just fighters out there in the sport, and that we just should be. It should be. I know how it becomes my guy when you become a U.S. champion on my show. So it is kind of like you're my U.S. champion, but my invitations are for everybody. But it seems to be some reluctance of people who are in bed with other organizations, if you will, to come across and compete against someone who you are saying is the best. I mean, I'll put out tons of advertising saying, hey, fight this guy, fight that guy, fight this guy. And people, for whatever reason, they complain about having legitimate fights, but they're slow, very slow to register for these tournaments. And it's a good tournament. We take care of the people and everything. Why do you think that is? The reluctance.
I think they're afraid to lose. They're afraid honestly, they're afraid that their training isn't good enough.
Mm.
Possibly. They're afraid that maybe their trainer isn't good enough. Possibly. Again, they're afraid of losing. But I think a champion would want to know that he's a champion.
Right.
And I mean, I'm not saying that about everybody. I mean,
right.
There's all kinds of, you could have financial issues, you could have other.
Sure.
But I mean, if you don't have any other excuses other than that, I don't know if I want to fight that guy because he might beat me.
Right. That's something that's a whole nother game there, right? It's a whole nother story. Mike, tell us a little bit about your experience thus far with the ICAP East Coast Classic.
The East Coast Classic.
Look, and don't hurt my feelings. Okay, don't hurt.
I tell you what, John. I tell you what, you make me work, and I don't have a problem with that. But I've always believed, if you're going to bring me here, you better keep me busy, because if I'm not busy, I'm bored. And if I'm bored, I want to go do something else.
Right.
But no, I appreciate that, and I like to be busy, and I like doing what I do. I like working with the fighters. I like getting to know the fighters. I like getting to know the trainers. I like to, what little knowledge I have to share. I enjoy
No,
sharing.
you have a lot.
And I enjoy people that are willing to accept that information, accept that knowledge. People that are teachable, as you might say. Okay?
Yes, everybody's not teachable.
Somebody thinks they know it all. Well, then there's nothing else you can teach them.
Right.
So, but if somebody's willing to take advice and take instruction, then that person's got a long career ahead of them.
Yeah, for sure. Well, what do you think about the concept that I have, which is different from others, and having the one ring, and that concept as opposed to 3 and 4 rings, cutting off registration when we reach a certain maximum amount of fights, as opposed to trying to just warehouse everybody in. That's my opinion. What are your thoughts about that? And it's not whether it's better or not, but just what are your thoughts? Do you think there's something there that could be beneficial to the growth of our sport?
I think there's pros and cons to both.
Yes.
When you have multiple rings, you can watch 3 or 4 or fights going on at one time. But the thing is, you don't get to focus on a fighter.
Right.
The way you have things set up, one ring, there's 2 fighters going on in the ring, and everybody gets to watch those fights. Okay.
Right.
You cut off the registration. I don't think that's a problem. I mean, you still have more than 100 fights.
Right.
Satisfied with 100 fights, then I don't know, maybe you should get in the fight yourself. But I think people, the fans at the Classic, the IKF Classic, East Coast Classic, they get lots of fights. They get to see plenty of fighting. They get to see a lot of good fights, and I think this year with the women's title and the pro fight you have coming up, I think they're going to really see some great fights this year.
Right.
I'm kind of looking forward to it. But I think the one ring is something that's been that way forever. I think people are used to it, but it's also easier for the fighters and the trainers to know when they're fighting.
True.
Multiple rings. Well, we could be fighting anywhere in the next hour in any one of these 3 or 4 rings. Right?
Yeah.
So there's some uncertainty there. So the single ring adds some certainty as to what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, when we're going to do it. And I think it makes it a little bit calmer for the trainers, I think, more than the fight.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, some of these organizations are getting apps and all these type of things to, inform everybody and all that. And that's fine. I'm just thinking that, and kind of what you said, it's just keeping all the attention on the 1 or the 2 stars that are in the ring. Giving them that attention. I think that's important, and I think that as people become everybody has then an equal opportunity to be known and to become a star. And that's what I try to create. And then if I have just more of these type of tournaments across the country as I'm growing in, I just think it's going to help our sport, go yet to that next level. You mentioned about the pro fight, and I wanted to put that up on the screen. I'd like to ask people here recently about, my decision to bring more rounds into the fight game. There I don't know when it changed. I kind of have an idea that when it did, but one of the things that I've had a problem with, and I think I probably expressed myself pretty clearly here, is that we don't fight enough rounds. We used to fight 12-round fights. Somewhere along the MMA craze or the Muay Thai from Thailand craze, it went to 5 rounds. Whether it was 5 2 minutes or 5 3 minutes, that was it. I don't believe that gives people the opportunity to really show who's the real champ when it comes to all the other elements, not just kicking and punching, but all the elements like grit and gut and determination that goes into a longer fight, right? So what do you think about the concept of like our 9-round fight coming up here on October 9th? What are your thoughts? Pros and cons.
I think, I think the pros to it are giving the fans, I mean, if you got two fighters that are fighting serious about it and they know they've been training, they're ready to go 9 rounds. I think that fans are going to benefit from that.
Right.
You know, and if it goes 3 or 4 rounds, well, then obviously one fighter was ready and better to fight than the other, who maybe he's possibly trained harder or whatever. Who knows? You know, there could be a mismatch, but we doubt so. I don't know. I mean, I don't think somebody's going to go in and be ready for something like that. And again, the 9-round thing, you see 5 rounds or more. You mean boxing? They're, like you said, Muay Thai, boxing's doing it all the time. You know, I mean, I don't see any reason why the sport of kickboxing can't start moving into that arena. I think the fans are ready for it. I think it'll get the fans more interested in it.
Right.
You know, I mean, they come to watch. It was like you said, you know, 2 or 3 rounds, guys would be tired, but after the 2nd or 3rd round, some fighters start fighting.
That's right. That's right. What is the challenge that you see for a trainer, and maybe even a fighter, in adding those additional rounds? What do you see as a challenge for them?
Well, I think at first we've been doing 3 rounds so long now that the trainers, they got to mentally prepare their fighter. It has to be prepared. And you know, I don't know how you do that in the gym. I don't know. I remember in the old days when they would spar to knock each other out, but they've taken that out now because you're having too many head trauma in the ring, so they don't spar as hard. But
Right.
get to a point where if you're going to fight for a 7, 8, 9 round, you know, 9-round fight, you got to be able to fight harder in the early rounds to survive those rounds. So
Right.
I mean, that's the challenge, I think, for the trainers. The fighters, I guess that's just got to be in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got to do it. They got to have the.
This a totally different mentality.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What do you think about the rematch that we have coming up with Chelsea Mena and O'Toole? You were there at that last one. That was the barn burner. What do you think about that?
I think it's going to be good. I think new situation, whole new game now, and I think it's going to be like round 6.
Right.
You know, just forget the first 5 rounds. We're going to do another 5 rounds, but just be like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 now, right?
Right.
I think they're ready. I think they know each other better now, and I think they're ready for what the other one's going to bring. I think it'll be interesting. And I know their trainers got them ready. You know that. So
Yes. I think it's going to be great because it was a split decision last time, so I think that it's going to be a close fight. Those go. Oh, somebody could get knocked out. You know, somebody could have changed their game, and somebody goes down. Then you know what? That makes it pretty clear who the champ is, right?
I pretty much bet that neither one of them want to go to a split decision this time.
I bet.
Straight out win this fight. I think there will be.
Right. I think that you know, I'm excited about it. I would just tell everybody to get those tickets now for the East Coast Classic, guys. Information is on the website at akpromotions.org. As I begin to wind down, I would like to ask you a couple of questions here on the outside of things. I always say Johnny Davis live, real talk, real solutions. I want to talk a little bit about respect. You've been teaching martial arts for a long time. You've been in martial arts, and that's one of the things that, you know, the martial arts core. However, I see so many people out here on social media who are supposed to be martial artists, but they seem to lose the value of respect for other people. Where, and why do you think that is? Do you think that understanding the words respect, because back in the day, I remember coming up, when you taught respect, it was about respect and, you know, yourself, your mama, your daddy, your brothers, sisters, your neighbors, and all that. Okay, so now we're in another seemingly environment where we're still teaching, quote unquote, respect. I guess we are in gyms, because I'm not in a gym. You still doing classes. Are we teaching values beyond just being respectful in the gym and making sure that we are passing that on to our communities and even in odd situations and people that may be strangers?
I would certainly hope so. You know, when we do this, when we teach class, Johnny, every coach, every instructor would like to have that kid that grows up to be a Johnny Davis or a Michael Jordan or a Bo Jackson. Okay.
I don't think I fit in those categories, but that's okay. Thank you.
You're a world champion, Johnny.
I know, but yeah, that's okay. But thank you.
Those aren't common situations, you know.
Right.
You average kid, sometimes you get that kid that walks in and trips over a chalk line. Okay. Those are the kids that I am when I teach. I teach for those kids. So the kids that are shy, maybe they're bullied, have a single parent that's struggling, and they have no self-respect. They don't know which direction they're going, and that's one of the first things we try to do is teach them. You know, your brain's not. You know, you're not the winner that everybody says that you are. You are strong. Think you can be. When parents sit here and they tell me, "You're never going to make my kid do that. You're never going to teach me that," and I say, "Yes, I will. Yes, I will." And then you got to teach the kids how to respect themselves first, right? When they can start learning how to respect themselves, then they can start learning how to respect other people. I tell the parents, we're never going to lay a disciplinary hand on your child, but there's going to be a lot of discipline involved. And through that discipline, you hear a lot of yes or no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. And I hope that it will carry once they leave
Right. That's what I was thinking as well. That's what I was thinking. It's got to carry over to home as well.
And and we seem to be doing very well. I mean, like I told you, I've got 4 children and 4 grandchildren, but I have kids,
Right.
and I love them all. You know,
Right.
and just got to show them that. You know, I mean, there's so many kids nowadays that are getting in trouble because they have no one that cares for them. You know, they might say, "I care for you, I love you," but you have nobody that really cares. So I've raised a lot of kids in the last 35 years, and actually I've raised a lot of sets of parents in the last 35 years.
Right. Right. That's real talk.
So how'd you get to do that? You know, talk to them and listen. Talk to them and listen. I keep telling people that none of my kids are ever going to be found shot dead in an alley somewhere. You know, because you just understand when we do a lot of competitions, you win some, you lose some. But my number one rule is win with honor, but lose with dignity. And you know, and some kids, most of the kids get it. Some kids, if they don't want to, you know, they don't want to put up with it, they don't put up with it, and they don't last very long. You know, we don't have bullies in our school, and oftentimes when a bully comes in, most of the kids don't even realize it because they're in for a very short time and they realize this is going to be too hard for me and I'm not going to go out.
So they have to come in with an open mind and willing to, if they know that maybe they don't even know that they're a bully or they have issues, but they have to at least be willing to listen and change.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that initially you got to make them fun. You got to make it fun. Hey, I want to do this. I want to do this. And doing it as they're learning that, they don't even realize what they're learning until all of a sudden they wake up one morning and it's like hitting the light switch. Says, "Gosh, now I get this."
Right.
You know?
Right.
Mr. Storm was right, and the parents. You know, one of the first speeches I give to a child after the very first class, I said, "Did you enjoy it?" They say yes. I says, "Did you want to do another class?" They say yes. I says, "If you do, you need to do something special for mom and dad because they need to bring you here." And I said, "There's a lot of really neat things that you can do, but the things that you do here, I only want to find out are here. I don't want to find out that you're doing martial arts and the kids at school and the kids at home." I said, "You never, ever, ever, ever do it to your mother." And then I turn and I look at mom and dad and I say, if he or she ever does misuse what I teach them, I don't want you to tell me. I want him to come and tell me or her to come and tell me.
Right.
And I take what I do very seriously. And I says, you might like me now, but you may not like me if I find out that you're misusing what I'm teaching.
For real.
And the parents look at that like, oh yeah. And I've had parents come in and say, he has something to tell you. Right. And so, you know, we may withhold a privilege. Like I say, we never lay a disciplinary on a child. But there are times, and you know, well, I meant to do it. Well, you know, meaning to do it isn't doing it. You know, good intentions don't work with us.
So you're a third parent. You're like a third parent. You and your people at the school are like a third parent.
Probably, yeah. I guess that because, like I said, I do have a lot of single parent children come in, and they're maybe missing a father or a mother, and like I say, I'm maybe more the grandfather now, I suppose.
Yeah.
And we just find, hey, kids just want to be listened to,
Right.
and they want it, whether it's good or bad, they want feedback,
Right. Right.
And if I messed up, tell me what I did and how can I figure out how to not do it again,
Right.
But like I said, I had a little boy told me that his brain was broken, and I says, "Who told you?"
Oh my God!
Told you that? I don't want to hear that.
Right.
Your brain's not broken. I says, we will figure this out. And then, his grandparents heard that. They just, their eyes opened up wide, and wow, I don't know that anybody's ever said that to him before.
Right.
So these are the things and these are the things that make me love what I is to watch. And my dream is to someday have a young man walk up to me and say, "Mr. Storm, you probably don't remember me. I'll be wheeled down the mall in my wheelchair, with my head drooping, and say, you probably don't remember me, but I'm so and so, and you did this for me."
Mike, I'm pretty sure that's already happened to you.
Well, I'm not in the wheelchair yet.
What I mean is that over 35 years, because I've had it happen to me, and I'm, not there quite yet, and it happens to me, quite often. Actually, somebody comes along, so I know it's that happened to some degree, and all thing, and that's the hope I think of a lot of trainers. I just want to, as I kind of wind down, I want to do two things. One, I want to ask you, if you had a magic wand, right? What would be your greatest if you were to, for the sport of Muay Thai and kickboxing in particular, what would you make happen if you had the magic wand? What would be the one thing that you would say, here it is, right? That to make our sport go to that next level?
Wow,
Mm.
that's a hard question. I think what I would just like to see all the politics go away. Politics destroys everything.
That's a good one. That's a good wave of that wand.
Take the pot, get everybody on the same page. In the Midwest, there's the group that's pretty strong, and they hold a big tournament every year. The IKF holds the East Coast Classic. They hold the World Classic every year, and a lot of people show up to those events.
Mm.
And that's a good start. I mean, you get people from all different organizations coming together, and that's a good start of getting rid of the politics, because nobody's a Republican, nobody's a Democrat.
Right.
Everybody's a fighter.
That's it.
Okay, that's politics destroys everything.
Yes.
So if we could just get rid of that and just all be fighters,
That's a good wave of the wand. And actually, on my website, I actually mentioned some of those things. You can't be wearing shirts and caps and all kinds of stuff with different types of political messages. Not at my event. I don't want that. I said you can wear fight shirts. You can wear a flag. That's fine. We're all Americans, right? But all of that other political crap, I don't care what side you're on, left, right. In fact, you don't want to do that anyway, because your judge might be something totally opposite of whatever you are. And that might play a role. As I wind down here, though, is Terry available?
I think she's listening.
There she is. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the other half, Miss Terry Storm. How are you doing, Terry?
I'm good, Johnny. It's good to see you. I sure do miss you.
Good to see you as well. It's been a minute. Back in the day, I used to see you at the IKF World Classic. You are actually like an official too. You're like a judge and all of that at those events, correct? Give me a quick synopsis of your time as an official with the IKF that you still are.
Let's see. I started at the same way Mike did. A promoter here started us introduced us to Steve, which got us involved with the IKF national tournament from day one. I think the first time I got to meet you was when they held it in Orlando that first year.
Mm.
And I've done all the positions. I've been a representative. I've refereed. I've judged.
Mm-hmm.
Referee to Mexico. Referee to Mexico.
Referee? Ignore. I had to. I was cut off my phone there. So you were a referee?
Yes. I've refereed at many of the Orlando tournaments in Omaha.
You know what? I remember that. I do remember seeing you in the ring at the World Classic.
Yes.
Okay, but you took a little bit of a break, right? It was kind of like the kids raising kids or something, you said?
Correct. Two children. They are now 19 and 16, so it became a little difficult. I couldn't do it while I was pregnant, obviously, and then when they were real little, they still needed a parent.
No. Well, that's awesome. Well, tell me really quick though about the guy right there with you. And is he really as laid back, as cool, calm, collected around the house as he is at our events?
Yes and no.
I've never seen him get upset. I've never seen him raise his voice. I mean, come on, tell us, give us some insights here. Come on, Terry.
You know what? He's a person with his heart in the right place at all times. And so, and he does have a cool level head in most cases. In emergency situations or when other people are getting flared tempers, he does stay calm and cool. That is who he is. And it's a gift to have that around. What
do you love most about that? What do you love most about Mike Storm?
You know what? Probably that what he's passionate about, he focuses on, and he does well. And he gives and gives and gives when it comes to the martial arts. I heard him on the phone just the other day. Someone is in our martial arts community, not associated with our school or our club, but happens to have a student with cancer. And Mike is actually going to be with you the day that they have a fundraiser for him. So Mike got on the phone and said, "I can't be there. What can I donate?"
Wow.
If you're a martial artist, it doesn't matter what school or what instructor you're under. He cares about you. He deeply cares about you. So, and I've seen that time and time and time again. It's never ending.
That is awesome. Mike, you get the final word here. That woman there to your side, how important has she been in your life?
You know what? She keeps me grounded. When I start getting a little uppity, she kicks me in the head and tells me to settle down. Settle down. She's she doesn't have a problem. She doesn't have a problem telling me to shape up. So
it's so good to have somebody who keeps it real around you, right? Because sometimes we do get a little inflated and all. And I have that situation too. Look, I think I might get all that. Yeah, you ain't all that. So it's so good to have. You know what? It is so good to have you two in the martial arts, in the sport of Muay Thai and kickboxing, and supporting these events. We're hoping that we're going to get Terry back in the game here, in a not so distant future, and have you guys tag teaming again as you used to. You guys are a tremendous credit to the martial arts and our sport, and we're looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks, Mike, and all. And thank you so much for your contributions, both of you.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, Johnny. Hope to see you soon.
All right, for sure. Thanks so much, guys. Take care. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have it there, Mr. Mike and Terry Storm. They are kind of somewhat of a tag team, and they do their thing and all. And we're so happy to have them a part of our events and helping us be successful. You can guarantee that the show is going to run well with either one of them there or both as a tag team. Hey, I just want to remind everyone that the IKF PKB is going strong across the country. This weekend, we're in Mooresville, North Carolina. We're in Missouri, Illinois, Collinsville, Illinois, as well as San Diego, California with Mr. Robert Aldama. So there's a lot going on this weekend with the IKF PKB. Hope you will be a part of it. We have hundreds of competitors already signed up for those events across the country this weekend, and a lot of events that are going on here in the coming weeks. You can check out the events at akpromotions.org and see all of the upcoming events. I want to remind everyone as well, you can still register, although Registration is closed for full contact at the IKF East Coast Classic. You can still register for the IKF PKB that will also be held at the IKF East Coast Classic. So semi-contact in the other ballroom. Registration is still going on for that. We're going to let that go on a little bit longer before we shut that down. I will say that registration is going pretty strong. I have not counted. I do not know. But I do know that it's going pretty strong. We're going to have to look at those numbers, too, to make sure we don't overdo it, overcook that event in the other ballroom. Last March, it was like, oh my gosh, we ran out of seats and everything. For the PKB, we ran out of seats and the room was packed. We had about 70-some competitors, about 200 or 300 spectators in the room. So it's really, really an exciting part of the East Coast Classic weekend, October 8th through the 10th. There at the Landmark. So listen, you have a lot of reasons to come out and bring your family to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina at the Landmark Resort that weekend. You know, tickets are on sale right now. You can get them also at akpromotions.org. We hope that you will come out. You know, we will have some basic protocols for COVID. We'll be doing temperature checks. We're going to make masks optional at this point because South Carolina does not have a particular mandate, but we want to try to keep people as safe as possible. So we will be doing the temperature checks at the door. We feel like that's a big factor for keeping people safe. The mask will make it optional, but you know, we are highly recommending that you do wear masks, to be very honest, but we're just not going to mandate it like we have in the past. At least that's the way it is now. We're 2.5 or so weeks out. We have no plans to really put that in at this point. Now, this weekend in Missouri, on the other hand, Illinois, Collinville, Illinois, where we have a huge PKB there on Sunday. We already have 122 advanced registrations, competitors going on. So it's absolutely an amazing event coming up this Sunday there. And I'll be flying out there on Saturday night. That is a mask mandated event, right? Because the city has, the governor, I think, of the state has made it mandated for people inside together to gather like that to wear masks. So we're going to follow that, right? So this weekend at the Missouri PKB event over there with Mr. Chad Mueller, we will have our mask mandate in place. We hope everybody will follow those. Guys, we have so much going on. I want you to check out, again, all the information at akpromotion.org. Some of these fights are going to be absolutely fantastic. One of the things before I close out, I want to remind everybody about the live streaming that we're doing. We will live stream our IKF PKB tournament this weekend in Mooresville, North Carolina, there with Mr. Derek Reams, right? So that will be live streamed. You can go to our broadcaster, it's called sportscaster.com, I believe, where you can see the link. The link is also on our Facebook page. So check that out. You know, if you wherever you are in the world, you can click on that. It's $12.99 and see some semi-contact action this weekend. Now, obviously for the East Coast Classic, about a week or so before, we're going to blast it hard about our live streaming because we're going to have a great setup. We're going to have a great shot inside the ring and great quality. Mr. Derek Reams doing a great job with the quality of the video productions that we are doing. We're going to have the graphics up and everything. So listen, you guys, check out our live streaming. It is going to be something fantastic. We're going to keep growing in that area and providing those opportunities for you to see the live streaming wherever you might be. You know, so check us out. Support us. We thank you in advance for the support because we're really, really, really trying to do something great for our sport of Muay Thai and kickboxing. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. I want to thank you again for watching yet another edition of Johnny Davis Live. Again, be sure to check us out on all of our networks out there, Facebook and YouTube and all of that. And we're going to see you really, really soon at an event. For right now, though, always respect each other. Forward march. This is Johnny Davis Live, and I'm checking out. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.